was an interesting viral moment during the U.S. Open in which a businessman from Poland robbed a young boy of his moment. So when for I'm pretty sure people know this already, but during tennis matches, sometimes the winner of the match will use their racket to knock tennis balls into the crowd, and they'll engage with fans. And so there was one particular tennis star who was attempting to give his hat to a young fan in the crowd. And this Polish businessman kind of got into the way of it and denied the young boy the hat from the pro tennis player. And it's created a viral backlashing that he has addressed since then, apologizing and saying that he's going to try to make it right and all of this good stuff. So this says U.S. Open, Polish businessman who stole kid's hat says he made a grave mistake. The U.S. Open has been rife with storylines this year, and one in particular that's been making a lot of headlines involves a Polish businessman who swiped a hat from a child. On Thursday, August 28th, Polish tennis star Camille, I'm not going to try to say the last
Yeah,
name.
fuck that.
Polish Polish tennis star Camille greeted fans and signed autographs after defeating the number 9 seed Karen, because these are men, right? This is a men. These are male tennis players.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When Camille removed his hat to hand it to a young boy in the stands, a man standing next to the child grabbed the hat and stuffed it into a nearby woman's bag. After it was confirmed, the man in question was Polish businessman Piotr uh, Piotr, the CEO of paving company Drogbrook. The millionaire faced a sea of backlash. The Polish businessman has now issued an apology explaining that he made a grave mistake and thought the tennis star was giving him the hat after
Yeah.
his sons had asked for autographs earlier in the day. I would like to offer my sincere apology to the injured boy, his family, all the fans, and the player himself. I made a grave mistake in the midst of the excitement and celebration after my victory. I was convinced the tennis player was handing his cap to me for my sons who had previously asked for autographs. This mistaken belief caused me to instinctively reach out. Today, I know that I did something that seemed like deliberately taking a souvenir from a child. It wasn't my intention, but that doesn't change the fact that I hurt the boy and disappointed the fans. The cap was given to the boy and an apology to the family. I hope that I have at least partially repaired the harm caused. Reports followed the original news Reports following the original news claim that the Polish businessman initially defended his actions, allegedly stating the recent incident at the tennis match has caused a disproportionate online uproar. It's all about the famous hat, of course. Yes, I took it. Yes, I did it quickly, but as I've always said, life is first come, first serve. In the end, chin up, hats off, less venom, more sportsmanship. However, in Polish businessman's latest Facebook statement, he claimed these reports are not true. I also want to make it clear neither I, my wife, nor my sons commented on this situation on social media or on any website. We did not use the services of any law firm in its regard. All alleged statements appearing online are not ours. He added that he and his wife have been involved in helping children and young athletes for years, but that the U.S. Open incident has shown him that one moment of inattention can undo years of work and support. This is a painful but necessary lesson in humility. Therefore, I will be even more actively involved in initiatives supporting children and young people and in actions against violence and hate. Whoa. I believe that only through actions can I rebuild lost trust. I apologize again to everyone I have disappointed. After the hat snatching incident, the tennis star sought out the child to make things right. All right, so there you go, man. So this Polish businessman said that he apologized and he gave the hat to the boy and he's going to continue his endeavors. And he also said that any comments appearing to come from me were in fact false. I didn't say any of that stuff. So, what do you make of this situation? You think all is now right because he gave the hat back?
Um, mm, I mean, eventually over time, yeah. I think this would just get swept up under the rug. It caused a bit of an uproar for the last few days or so. And I saw videos where people were talking about this, and the take of people finding out about this, then going to his actual business page and just bombing his company with bad reviews. Uh, this guy was going to lose it all. So he had to come out once the internet got their hands on this. And, I think this is one of those situations, man, where the internet got it right again. Uh, you know, because with this whole cancel culture and doxing people now and all this other stuff that goes on, there are situations where it's low key valid, man. And in this situation here, where I thought we had the clip for this one, but in the
Oh,
situation,
is there a clip?
nah, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see one in the article, at least.
Yeah.
But with this situation where the guy, to me, it's pretty clear that it was going to the kid and the guy snatched it. To me, it was pretty clear. And to me, this was pretty clear of some millionaire arsehole who gets everything his way, and to hell with this little kid. I can buy 5 of them. You know, yeah, that's how this guy rolls. And so nowadays, with the way people are turned up on these CEOs and not really giving a damn about what they got going on, because they they are walking embodiments of the haves and have-nots. And for this CEO to take a hat like this at a situation, because that kid had to be pretty damn privileged his damn self to be having access to seats like that. But I digress. The visuals of this fat cat CEO snatching the hat from the kid. It's no different than something that would be in Scrooge or something like that, where there's some kid that's walking down the street with a crutch, and and here comes Scrooge, slapping the crutch out the kid's hand because it's got some gold tip at the bottom or whatever. And it's like, to hell with this kid, to hell with this disability. I want this piece of gold here. And it's been a lot. It's I'm sure these guys do this type of stuff a lot, not so much directly, but if there is a situation where there's like, hey man, there's a house full of orphans over here, and they've been here for the last 50 years, but in order for us to build a strip mall, it's like, well, displace those bastards. So that kind of CEO persona that people would have in the back of their minds, he embodied it. So when people had an opportunity to do their own form of internet vigilante justice, they took it upon themselves to make this guy persona non grata. And so with that, he had to come back and give an apology, because he can cap all he wants. That first statement he said, "I saw it, I took it." I don't know who's gonna go out here and catfish to be this man, because nobody gives a damn who you are. Uh, but so for him to say, somebody made that up, I'm not buying that. I'm pretty sure that's how you felt. I'm pretty sure that's how you feel. You got to the millions. It's eat or be eaten out here. That kid was too slow or not strong enough. So that's mine's now. So I highly doubt he learned anything outside of he's got to be more careful in public. But what are your thoughts, man, on the internet giving this CEO some backlash for apparently stealing a hat from some little kid? What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah. So I did find something. So let's pull this up. Uh, um, so real quick, we'll pull this up and show it just for context purposes. So this is like the initial incident.
Hmm. Yeah, he just housed it.
Yeah. Let me run it back because it happened real fast.
Yeah, he snatched the hell out of that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, not fast enough, kid.
You got to be quicker than that. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think it's, you know, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he was being impersonated, but I don't think it matters to me whether he was impersonated for that or not is irrelevant because I think from the video we can clearly see him standing right next to the boy,
Right.
and I think it is clear and obvious if it's clear and obvious to us via watching the video that the tennis player meant to give the hat to the boy. I'm pretty sure it was clear and obvious in the moment on his part, standing right there next to him, that
Correct.
the intention from the tennis player was to give the hat to the boy.
Correct.
So what he did on purpose.
Yes. Yes.
But then but once the backlash came, he pivoted and decided to try to make things right. So he obviously didn't foresee the swift retribution that was going to be coming his way, given what he did. And
Mhm.
I do think that that type of retribution does get amped up in this day and age because there is a heightened microscope on fat cats, CEOs, millionaires. You know, people are feeling it nowadays, and people are on the lookout for the rich person, the CEO who does people dirty, because it's an instant where's the beef type atmosphere, given the harsh economic disparities that we are currently in the midst of experiencing in real time. And
Mhm.
so, there is a prevailing wisdom that it's individuals like him who are exacerbating that dynamic that is causing a lot of pain and harm to people. And so,
Mhm.
one of the ways that you can get your get back from that is to expose these types of situations to bring them down a notch or two.
Mhm.
And honestly, I can't say that I have a particular problem with that because in a lot of instances, these individuals are exacerbating a lot of dynamics that are doing harm to people. So I can't really say that I am too snuffed or upset about that. Um, I don't, whether he learned a lesson or not to me is inconsequential. I'm just glad that the kid got a chance to, be around the tennis player and that he
Mhm.
did get the hat back because it was owed to him. But I
Mhm.
do believe that he knew what he was doing and he
Mhm.
did it anyway because I do agree with you that there's an aspect of kill or be killed, that there's a certain type of kill or be kill mentality that individuals in his position have to believe in order
Mhm.
to get to where they are. And
Yes.
and even and you have to exploit that even at the expense of children if you believe that that's what you have to do in order to get your way.
100%.
So he doesn't care about kids or any of that kind of stuff. If he has to proverbially speaking, not literally, but if he has to run over a kid in order to get what he needs to get, he'll do it because
100%.
that's what these individuals do is exploit people. So
Mhm.
I get the internet's backlash because that's what the internet is responding to. The mentality on the part of these individuals who are exacerbating a lot of environmental circumstances that are causing a degradatious effect to people. So that's what people are talking about. It ain't about him directly, it's about people like him and what that kind of behavior symbolizes. So I get the internet's frustration with that, and I'm glad they did it because he deserved it.
Yeah, there's a few dynamics here that should show you how the 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 archetype of this situation is what people care about versus the actual players involved. A, it's flipping men's tennis that this happened at. A men's tennis player that most Americans don't even know. Then there's some Polish CEO, which everybody doesn't know. Okay. But yet it's going viral in America because of what this represents, what this story represents. And as you mentioned, man, yeah, bro, people have had enough of these guys. And they have their way when it comes to legislation and other things. A lot of things are tilted in these guys' favor, which allows them to continuously get fatter when everybody else is struggling. So when they are taking it to the streets with it, and actually stealing a hat. I mean, literally taking candy from a baby. It's like, come on, bro. And then the internet decided to ruin them. So this guy will disappear into relative, obscurity again, because nobody knows who the hell he is. So the internet's had their time with it, but this faux pas was big enough to startle investors, to startle other people around him that's tied to his company and tied to his name and brand, for him to come out and issue an apology. Um, so he felt something from doing that. So whether it was long term or something like that, I don't know. But I can guarantee you this: if it didn't go viral, he wasn't going to apologize.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So
Yeah.
he had to get humbled in some capacity. And shouts out to the tennis player for making right on it and going back to the kid, and also hooking up with the kid, because the tennis player also got up with the kid after all of this stuff. So um yeah, man, way to make that right. But overall, um I'm not for internet justice for the most part. But when you're striking all the damn time, you're gonna end up striking something that I agree with. And in this context, I do agree with this guy's somewhat cancellation, but just heating up his seat enough for him to get up and make a bigger fool of himself. I think that was good enough for me. So
Yeah, the scrutiny on people in his position right now is at an unprecedented high.
mhm,
This is, I'm reminded of the Luigi kid who
mhm,
unalived the United Healthcare CEO. And you have people who were championing this guy for doing this. And that comes from this angst that a lot of people feel about how they're being squeezed, and their belief that part of the reason why we are being so squeezed is because individuals in those positions are figuring out different machinations to employ the squeeze so that they can continue to reap a lot of the benefits.
mhm,
So that's where a lot of that comes from. That's the only way to explain why there's people who felt like that kid was just in unaliving that guy
mhm,
the way that he did. Because outside of that particular rationale, there's nothing to really celebrate in that situation. Like that was a cold-blooded situation. That was a cold-blooded type deal.
mhm,
But there's people who are looking at that and acting like this kid did something righteous on behalf of the people, because people are frustrated with the squeeze. And
mhm,
so even if it's something as it doesn't have to rise to the level of people
mhm,
dying necessarily. It can be something as simple as at the US Open, you did something that was clear and obvious. You're standing right next to this boy. There's no way to explain yourself out of you not knowing that that hat was meant for him.
mhm.
If you It's common sense. If you didn't know that the hat was meant for him, you wouldn't have snatched it away so quickly.
Exactly.
The reason why you snatched it away so quickly is because you knew that if you didn't get to it fast enough, the boy was going to take it. So, you know, there's no way to explain yourself around that. And the backlash to me was justified, but I do think it rose to the occasion that it did because of the ire and the magnifying glass and the magnifying scope that is currently placed upon individuals in his position. There's a lot of angst and anxiety and just trepidation and fear that a lot of people are feeling out here in these streets. And that fear is directly tethered to the belief that these fat cats and CEOs and wealthy people are actively a part of putting the squeeze on people in various ways. So I don't blame people because, the squeeze is real, it is in effect. I don't knock people for reacting in that way. Like you, I do believe that this was an instance of internet vigilante justice that was warranted. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, shout out to the internet for getting this one right, man. I'll get on you guys other times, but this one, you got my cosign. So shout out to the internet.
Yeah. Shouts out to the internet indeed.